Yo, what's going on today, guys? It's your boy Zazo, and I'm back again for another video. So today, we have the real reasons why you are not progressing in your coding journey. I'm going to give you kind of 3 things that may be stopping you from progressing in coding, and then how to actually solve these issues and how to really start moving forward in that coding journey. Forgive me, I am looking like a billy goat today, but it is what it is. So my name is Zazo, and I've been coding for about 10 plus years, and I've worked as a software quality assurance engineer, a software engineer, and also a data engineering role as well. I'm just gonna hop right into it. Let's go. The first thing that I realized that is stopping a lot of people in their software engineering or coding journey is actually the fear of making mistakes. The fear of making mistakes, what I believe, comes from kind of the school system where you get bad grades based on how essentially imperfect or something that you don't know you kind of get docked on. So, at least in the US, being in school for I don't know how many years, but like 15 plus years, college and all that, you are subconsciously kind of ingrained to think that you have to be perfect or a perfectionist. I'm here to tell you that that is not the case with coding, and nobody in coding is perfect, and no one writes an extensive amount of code and everything just works just like that. It's really unheard of that is actually, you'll look at the best software engineers, you can go look online and stuff like that, real coding examples, and everybody runs into errors. So by you being making the fear of making mistakes kind of has that, paralysis by analysis. You're, overwhelmed by all of these different things and you don't want to make a mistake and you want to do everything perfectly. I'm here to tell you that you do not have to be perfect in order to start coding or to start to actually progress in this journey. What I would actually recommend you do is, instead of looking at the whole picture, break it down into small digestible chunks. So for example, if I were going to build some type of calculator, very simple example, instead of worrying about, how am I going to add the plus minus? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? Start super simple. How about let's just make the calculator shape, right? How am I going to get something to show up on the screen first? How do I add the first button? How do I add the second button? And then progressively go like that. Small digestible chunks. And then by the end of it, you'll have kind of close to the full piece. You might need to connect some things, but it's very manageable. And in your mind, it's very achievable when you think of the problems in that way. So you don't have to be perfect. I would actually say do the opposite. Get in there and fail fast. If you're somebody that's been reading about coding, watching videos but not doing it, I would say right now, get into your editor and just start coding. Even if that's the hello world, even if that's just, wherever you're at in your coding journey, just get started. Fail, because that's where the learning actually comes from. You're holding yourself back by sitting there and just absorbing all this knowledge, because I know a lot of people that know a lot of things about coding but can't write a lick of code because they haven't done it, but they know everything about these concepts and these frameworks and what they're supposed to do. However, they never actually applied it. So that is the first one. Stick around for the last one, because I think it is a real killer of anybody's coding journey. It's something that I struggle with. Keep in mind, I struggled with all of these that I am about to go over, and I'm going to kind of give you my takes on how to overcome them, how I overcame them, if I recommend doing the same thing I did or not. Most of these I probably found a better way at this point. The second one is kind of what I call shiny object syndrome, or kind of being overwhelmed by information, if you want to put it that way. There are a lot of things in technology and software engineering that always look like the shiny new thing. This is something that I fell victim of when I was first learning. I started out with web development. At that point, everything was HTML, CSS, JavaScript. As I'm learning these different things, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, they seem, whatever, kind of simple. And then, the company I want to work for, they use C#. Okay, let me learn C#. But now I Googled, in popular language to know for web development is JavaScript. Let me learn JavaScript. Now there's a framework for JavaScript. I'm going to learn that. So I'm switching back and forth and cutting off essentially my knowledge when I'm 20 to 30%, through getting there. and I'm actually learning 20 to 30% of all these different things, but I don't know anything well enough or in depth enough to actually do anything with it. So that is kind of a major killer that I struggle with. I've went to, Python, JavaScript, Rust, Go, now you want to make mobile apps or you want to learn Kotlin, and you kind of go back and forth and you're like, oh, and then you end up doing like a little bit of everything and still knowing nothing. So what I recommend is first find out what you want to do some research around that. There's nothing wrong with trying it at first, but if you pick a language and you are making progress in a language, stick with that language and learn the ins and outs of the language itself, what comes in the default package or default, with the language itself, then expand on frameworks for that language. And then I guarantee you, if you switch languages, it will be a lot easier to comprehend the concepts. This is something I couldn't believe when I was watching these same videos, but it is true. Learn one language based on what you want to do, and then kind of, reverse engineer. And if you want to switch off after, that's fine. If you're new, brand spanking new, I recommend Python if you do not know what you want to do, but you want to code. And then, like I said, learn Python to a deep degree, and then you can always switch. The reason why I say learn Python, it is more beginner friendly. There are a lot of things in there that make it easier to learn syntax wise, and you won't be so overwhelmed by a lot of other things. I would say actually higher paid positions are knowing something specific really, 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 really well. So the third and final thing, and this is something I struggled with so much, like I kind of alluded to in the last one, having a clear plan and working towards it. When I was coding, I wanted to do everything. I wanted to learn every coding thing, everything that had code. I wanted to know how to do it. I wanted to know how Facebook worked. I wanted to learn everything that Google did. And there's nothing wrong with having that type of, I would say dream or kind of like North Star type of thing. But honestly, have a plan on what you want to do. Do you want to be a back-end software engineer? A full stack software engineer, front end software engineer? Do you want to do AI machine learning? Do you want to do data science? Do you want to do game development? If you're brand new, yes, I would say dabble a little bit in each, see which one you like, and then go down that path. If you know exactly what you want to do, find out the language that is to do that, find out companies that you want to work for and what they use, and make your path based on that. And then you would reverse engineer that. You would learn Python basics, then you would go into some more advanced learning, and then you want to go really into that domain, because data science is a completely different kind of like animal rather than like software engineering. Like they can commingle, but data science has its own theory and that kind of thing on how to build machine learning models and all that kind of stuff. So you want to definitely get started and then essentially go down that rabbit hole. But you cannot continue to jump from place to place, because you'll end up not really knowing much. And I tell you this because I went through it. So this is going to be the end of the video. If you found this helpful, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you want to see. Until next time, love, peace, and chicken grease. I'm out.